Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome to the Fortnite Chapter 6 Mini Season 2 The Simpsons. Welcome to Springfield. We're stepping through realities right into the Springfield Island. With 0 Point Shard in Homer's control, the island will only get more chaotic each week until someone or something can put a stop to the 0 Point's power. Honestly, it's quite chaotic. If you guys didn't see, I have streamed it now, so we have played a little bit of it. But the main purpose of this video is your Springfield stories. But first, I'm just going to mention some of the Kickstart Quests, because a couple of them I've seen people asking about. The KBBL radio towers are basically your storm forecast towers. They're not too hard to deal with. Damaged Dober Men is the dog guards from Mr. Burns' Manor and places like that. You deal 1,000 damage to opponents with Mr. Blasty. Mr. Blasty is the revolver. And then complete a Lost and Found quest. Not entirely sure if it's just the found quests or if there's a specific type. But if we find that out in this video, we can cover it here. It is also worth noting that all of these Kickstart quests do count towards weekly bonus goals, which is unusual, but does just mean that you might get a little bit more XP. It is also worth noting then your story. We will get 4 parts to the story. The first part is already out and it is Apocalypse Doe. The video for this can be found in the animated shorts in-game, or you can also go on Disney Plus and see them on there. But first one is Apocalypse Doe, and the story quests will then go in line with this. The second one's then coming out in 9 days, 10 hours time. So that is on, I believe, the 11th of November. So, Springfield stories. Stage 1 we have already done. It is a very simple one, and it is Homer saying, "People of Springfield, behold my magnificent creations," and all you need to do is visit 3 different named locations. Stage 2 is then brought to us by Jones. Thankfully, we don't have to understand things, we can just destroy them, and that is to destroy 5 signs changed by Homer. It is worth noting as well, you might notice stage 2 of 8. We are getting an awful lot of story quests in this season, and all of them are pretty lore related, so the story is definitely back this season. So, without further ado, let's jump in and try and destroy some signs changed by Homer. So folks, I also just want to say that this intro to the game just it's never going to get old. It is so fun. Wait, oh my god. Victory Royale, now with 20% more Royale. Did I thank Otto? I don't know if I thanked him. I do like how the sidekicks are so... the name customization is actually so impactful that it even comes up in your quest tab. I do like that they actually managed to remember to do that. That's quite cool. So first folks, before we actually go and destroy the signs, I do want to mention that this is the location where we can find Hope and Jones for like story related purposes. This is where they are. So we can talk to Jones about the shard. We're seeing what happens when a shard falls into the wrong hands. I thought the wrong hands was Sloane. I don't think Homer's that bad, right? Do you know what I think actually makes the shard being here so bad? And by shard as well, we're only talking a splinter. The shard was the thing that was in the Dark Presence's chest. This is literally just a fucking splinter of it. But no, I think the biggest problem with us being here is the fact that on Chapter 6's island, on Onishima, they're all just being completely destroyed by the Dark Presence. So until we can get back, our friends are possibly being slaughtered in a very horrible way. But yeah, the signs are dotted all over the map, guys. Honestly, I think this stage is one that you could easily get done accidentally just by driving around. Oh, I have a phone to pick up. Wait. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hello?
Yeah,
It's a prank call.
First name Ollie.
Oh, fuck. My first prank call.
I've literally just prank called Moe's Tavern. That's so funny.
What's the gag?
That's so funny. Let's go find some more signs. So folks, it is worth noting that you can shoot the signs, and when you destroy the 5th sign, you do hear Homer whimpering, and you also see the message about being like on the side of reckless destruction. Anyway, that then leads us on to stage 3, which is a quest, I believe, brought to us by Hope. Let's see what the people of Springfield have to say about your meddling. Oh, it's Homer saying that. Oh, God. We must emote near a boss to try and talk to them. Oh, good God, that... Okay, yeah. I can see where the quests are going this season. Oh, this is going to be an annoying one to do, isn't it? Well, let's go find ourselves a boss and try and, like, emote by them, I guess. So, folks, it's also worth noting that there are also what they call the hidden gigs around the map. There are 12 of them. Effectively, all you've got to do is just, I guess, best way to describe it is there's just comical things that you might bump into. So if you see like a little exclamation mark, interact with it. Stuff like that. Like, one of them is, if you find any garden rakes dotted around the map, step on it, so that it swings up like a cartoon and hits you in the face. It's funny stuff like that is the best way to describe this quest, so... Honestly, shouldn't be too hard for you to get done. And just like that, I also completed my first Lost and Found quest. Yay. I'm also going to head over to the KBBL radio, just to show you guys the Dobermen, because they do spawn over here as well. And then killing the main Doberman counts as an elite guard, so that will also count towards that Kickstart quest, making your life just that little bit easier. So folks, this seems to be one of the many places where you can get a boss to spawn. So honestly, just sort of land here. It's also worth noting that when you do kill a boss, Nelson Muntz does spawn in to laugh at the boss. But all you got to do is land here. This place is just south of, like, southeast of Evergreen Terrace. It's by the tyre fire. Honestly, easy enough place to find. And it does seem that they don't actually spawn in at the very start of the match, so you do have to wait a little bit into the match. But yeah, as you can see, I made my way here and did that. Stage 4 is actually to damage bosses. Oh, so we've already done stage 4. But okay, that's interesting. Friends of my what? Friends of my other friends and maybe strangers. What? The only people I want shooting my friends are my other friends. Okay. Stage 5 then is try to talk some sense into Homer. If that fails, bribe him. And this one's given to us by Jones. And it is simply to convince Homer to give up the power. I somehow don't think he's going to do that. But anyway, stage 5, convincing Homer. That is all the way over at Springfield Nuclear Power Plant. So without further ado, let's head on over there. So folks, I also just want to mention really quickly this random mountain, because like, there is a special jump here that you kind of have to do in a car. And it's another one of those 12 hidden gags. Jump the Springfield Gorge. So, like I say, there are 12 of those dotted around the map. Your objective is to literally just find them and do them. They're not exactly marked from a distance, so they might not be the easiest things to find. But when you do find anything that seems like it might be a quest, just give it a try. Give it an attempt. You never know, it might just be a quest. And I've just somehow, unintentionally on the way here, done one of my peers' quests as well. So, SideKick Quests then. Just to give a little explanation to you guys. The way they work is, as you are playing missions with your sidekick, you will gain points for that sidekick, which will unlock some cosmetics that you can equip afterwards. So I know a lot of people are saying about how customization is locked in. And once you've locked it in, you can't exactly change it. You can. The key thing that you can't change is that you can't change like their basic appearance, such as like fur colour and things like that. But you can change everything else, so you can give them like a bandana and stuff like that. And you will unlock those by completing your little sidekick quests. Which honestly is pretty cool to do. So folks, I should also just clarify that there is this random mission objective as well that you can have, where if you come to the power plant partway through the game and interact with the consoles, you can actually get some cool rewards, including a legendary slurp juice. But anyway, let's convince Homer. Right, let's convince him. You want me to give up this power? It hasn't even gone to my head yet. Oh, good God. Although, perhaps there's something you could do to make it worth my while. Oh, God. There's been talk of a new squishy flavour in town. Bring it to me and we have a deal. And then once I'm properly fortified with squishy, I demand an audience with the mayor. Oh, no. The power really is going to Homer's head. Anyway, let's see what is the next stage. So we actually have two quests here. The first is, I think a squishy might help me see the error of my ways. From Homer, visit Kwik-E-Mart and complete the delivery. So Kwik-E-Mart is in the Springfield town square. So let's head on over there. The other one is, I'll go, but I'm not going to listen, and that is to visit the town hall and raise your concerns. And the town hall can be found over at Corrupted Corners, which is in the southeast side of the map. So all in all, shouldn't be too hard to get those two quests done. So let's head on over there. And folks, I just want to say about, like, when you win, you should see your sidekick celebrate. But I don't quite know where mine has gone. Anyway, let's actually have a little look at what is the Victory umbrella for Chapter 6 Mini Season 2. So let's take a little look. It is the Safety Inspector umbrella, which is a... it's basically like Homer's power plant console with a little chair in the middle, which is quite cool. So, let's go and complete Stage 6. So folks, the Kwik-E-Mart can be found down here in the southwest side of Springfield Town Square. And when you get here, you suddenly get a quest. That quest is basically a little 10-parter where you're against the clock. So, arguably, it probably would be wise to find yourself a car before you do this. And also make sure you have some gold bars, because you're probably going to want to just buy the squishy like I did. So, what you're then doing is you're basically following all of the signposts or well, say signposts, all the rings, all the way from Springfield Town Square back to Homer, who I'm going to assume is waiting for us still at the power plant. And in fact, I say you probably want a car. I think you definitely want a car to be able to do this. But anyway, let's skip forward a little bit. You don't want to watch all of this. So folks, you don't actually have to quite get all the way to Homer. You just have to make it to that gate. Once you've made it there, that is your delivery complete. So basically, you just got to deliver it to the front gate of the power plant. I guess they're sort of going like canonically. You're not cleared to enter the power plant, but I will also just say that it doesn't actually take the Slurpee from you, so you can still use them yourself, which is always handy. But anyway, let's head down to the town hall to try and do the other part of stage 6. For the first time ever, I've actually found Krusty, which means that I get Krusty's version of Mr. Blasty, which is basically a balloon gun, which is kind of crazy. So effectively what it does is, it's a revolver, but this exotic version has a balloon explosion on the first go, which I think sort of knocks people back from what I can gather, but that's quite interesting. Anyway, onwards to the town hall. So folks, the big massive building here is town hall. As for raising your concerns, that's what I'm now sort of trying to do. I think you actually don't want to be inside the main speaking area, but I'm not too sure. Oh, okay. Now it's come up. It's a timed quest again. You have to destroy objects to raise your concerns. 25 objects in about 1:20. That's really not very long. So this one might actually be mildly challenging. Just pickaxe your way through all the chairs in this room, I guess. That's probably your best bet. To get that one done nice and quickly. And just like that, we get 25 done. Which has now completed both of the stage 6 quests. So, what is stage 7? Okie dokie. This one is from Homer. You can look through my stuff, but stay out of my junk. Enter the Simpsons house to search for answers. So in case you haven't found the Simpsons house yet, it is all the way over at Evergreen Terrace. So without further ado, let's head on over there and get this quest done. So folks, here we are at the Simpsons house. And what you're going to do for this one is, in a time limit, search 5 different TV remotes dotted around the house. Now, I'm going to assume none of them is actually the remote that we want. But just go around, check them all out, and that completes stage 7 of 8. Which then leads us on to the 8th and final stage of this week's quests. And that is simply to confront Homer Simpson. He's clearly given us some false information, but we are running out of time. We need Homer to understand how serious this is. I think this one is given to us by Hope, because realistically, we need to get back as soon as possible. The other thing I do want to mention just before we do go and confront Homer is, you may have noticed that on my head is a lovely helmet, Jebediah's helmet. Effectively what happens with this is it blocks headshots, and if you get headshot it just flies off and you can pick it back up again. Pretty cool. But without further ado, let's go and confront Homer Simpson. So folks, this is the important thing actually, is if you are trying to do the special disable the meltdown, you will find the poster somewhere in the area, and it shows you which ones to do. So I've got to do it red, yellow, blue, or in other words, the little boxy one, then the bobbly one, then the L-shaped one. You can then match those up on the console so that you know what order to do them in, which might make it a little bit easier if ever you are trying to do that. The problem is you have got to find one of those posters before that happens, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. Anyway, it is time to confront Homer Simpson. Oh god. After further consideration, I've decided to keep the shard. It likes me and I like it. Oh no. This is my chance to give the people of Springfield the town they deserve. Oh no. A town that's exciting and fun and delicious. Oh god. With sprinkles and frosting. And then he actually speaks. Just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand. Oh dear. Well, that doesn't sound too great. Anyway. That being said, let's head back to the lobby to process, ready for part 2. Wait folks, that isn't actually the end of the quest. We have to report back to Hope. Okay, so for those who don't know, Hope can be found in the southwest corner of the map in Donut District. Her and Jones can be found in the same building there. So without further ado, let's head on over. So it's time to speak to Hope. I get why people love him, but he will absolutely destroy us all if we don't stop him soon. It's not going to be easy to convince him to give up the shard. Until then, but we have to try. Until then, let's do our best to mitigate the damage. I can 100% agree with that. We do really need to mitigate the damage that Homer deals with that shard, because, let's be perfectly honest, he's probably going to deal a lot. And like I said earlier, we need to keep in mind this isn't even a full-on shard. The shard is what the Dark Presence had in his chest. This is literally a splinter of the 0 point. So folks, it is worth noting that all of those story quests must be completed before the part 2 quests come out. So you have until November 11th to complete them. But honestly, they weren't too hard. They didn't take me too long. They took about an hour and a half, if that. But all in all, shouldn't be too hard to get in and get them done. As for when the story continues, we can find that out from the animated shorts. The second one releases on November the 11th. So, stay tuned for more quests coming next week and the week 1 quests. Stay tuned in general for more Fortnite Simpsons. But until then folks, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it informative, enjoyable and fun to watch as always, and I'll see you all in the next one.